In today's episode, I've been thinking about how law students can build a useful professional network and then leverage it to make killer approaches for work experience and future employment. Hello everybody and welcome to today's episode of Been Thinking with me, Mike Bean. Today I've been thinking about all the crappy inquiries that law students send to my clients looking for work experience. I see hundreds of these every year as I monitor the messages that arrive through our clients' websites, and almost all of them are bland, self-interested, and instantly forgettable. Now, I could use this video to rant and rave and tell you to do better, but that wouldn't be very helpful. Instead, I'm going to spend the next 10 to 15 minutes giving you a practical strategy for approaching firms in a way that will get you noticed for all the right reasons. I'll tell you exactly what to do and what to say, but there's no getting away from the fact that a winning strategy requires more effort than simply pinging off a load of emails. I hope that doesn't come as too much of a surprise, so with that out of the way, let's get on with it by starting with an overview of the strategy. The objective of this strategy is to produce a book of contacts and a body of work that will prove your commercial acumen and allow you to approach firms in a way that has value to the person you're approaching. We want to make the firms you approach believe that they will get something valuable out of taking a chance on you. Something that goes beyond the warm, fuzzy feeling of helping a young person out. There is no doubt that this is a bold goal, and we will need to play to your strengths if we're going to pull it off. The first step towards that is to choose a focus that will help to keep you motivated. Pick an industry you're interested in. It would be good if it's an industry allied to an area where you'd like to practice law in the future, but that's not the most important thing. I really want you to focus on an industry in which you have a genuine interest, because that passion and enthusiasm will help sustain you through the hard work and rejection you're probably going to face over the next few weeks. Now, if nothing springs to mind straight away, you could do a web search for SIC codes. SIC, spelled S-I-C, stands for Standard Industry Classification, and any of the top search results will direct you to lists of hundreds of different industries that you can choose from. You might choose banking, finance, or insurance, real estate, construction, or engineering, biotech, robotics, computing, or even the arts, sports, charities, or politics. Whatever you fancy, just pick one and stick to it. You might end up keeping your focus for your entire career, or you might discard it as soon as it served its purpose. It really doesn't matter. You're developing the skill of commercial awareness and client focus, and that's something that will stick with you for life. Step 2, make connections. Next, I want you to make connections with business people within your chosen industry. I'd like you to find the heads of marketing, HR, finance, and of course legal, and the managing directors, owners, and investors in those companies that operate within the industry. I want you to connect with them and learn from them. Here's how I suggest you do it. Take out your phone and download the LinkedIn app and create a simple profile for yourself if you haven't done so already. Make sure you have a nice professional looking photo and have someone check everything over for spelling mistakes and typos. Now, go to the search feature and type in a job title and the name of your chosen industry. You might type Head of Marketing Insurance or Managing Director Fashion or whatever. You ought to get a list of 50 to 100 results from which I want you to choose 5 to connect with. Now visit the profiles of your chosen 5. You're going to send a connection request, but you need to personalize it. At the time of recording this video, you would do that by clicking the ... symbol next to their profile photo and then click Personalize Invite. That box has a 300 character limit, so type the following message and hit send. Dear Sarah, I'm a student at Nottingham University and I'm doing a commercial awareness project about legal issues facing senior managers in the insurance industry. Please may we connect so I can send you a message with 3 short questions about your experience. Now, my gut feeling is that you'll get 1 or 2 people connect with you for every 5 you send invitations to, but don't be put off by the ones who don't reply. Focus instead on the ones who do accept and send the politest possible message of thanks and ask these 3 questions. Number 1, what are the most important legal issues facing your industry at the moment? Number 2, what does your business currently do to manage those issues? And number 3, what service could a law firm offer that would make these issues easier for you? Remember to thank anyone who sends a reply and then make an effort to keep in touch with them by engaging with their posts on LinkedIn or forwarding any information you come across that might be helpful in connection to the issues they have told you are important to them. You can keep repeating this process for your entire student career so that by the time you graduate you have a diverse professional network and a large data set containing the needs and desires of perhaps hundreds of potential clients. Now at this point you're already more valuable than many of your peers. But the next step is to build a body of work that proves your commercial awareness and then publish it online where it can be accessed by potential employers. My goal for you in step 3 is to have something online that you can point potential employers to as evidence of your commercial awareness. Now this could take several forms. It could be a video series, a podcast, a collection of SlideShare presentations. They're all options, but a blog is perhaps the simplest option for most of you. Remember the mantra of play to your strengths and choose a medium that suits your personality. For the rest of this video, I'm going to assume you'll publish a blog. Now there are thousands of ways to start your own blog, but I recommend you either use an online service like medium.com or contact a specialist legal blogging agency like LexBlog who offer free blogs for law students and will get you off to a flying start. Your blog posts will be based on the responses you got to your research questions, so you can be absolutely certain that they are relevant to your chosen industry. Take each of your survey responses and research the topics your new connections gave you in response to questions 1 and 2 of your survey. Aim to explore each topic in between 500 and 1500 words and publish a new post at least once a week. Break down big topics into several posts so that you cover it from multiple angles, and don't try and present your posts as gospel. It is much better to give an honest account of a law student trying to build specialist knowledge in your own time, as a slightly humble approach leaves you some margin of error if you make mistakes. Think of it as documenting a learning journey rather than trying to write a definitive guide to the law. Try to amass 20 or 30 good posts before you think about approaching law firms for work experience. But once you've done that, you can move on to step 4, the irresistible value proposition. If you've put in the work and followed this strategy for a few months, you should now have a nicely growing contact book and a body of work that shows how you've been developing your commercial awareness in a particular industry. The final piece of the puzzle is to put together an irresistible value proposition. This is a piece of content that you'll design with the express purpose of opening a conversation with the lawyers you want to ask for work experience. To produce it, you'll synthesize all the data you've collected from your LinkedIn connections. You'll set out the key legal issues people in your chosen industry are facing, you'll summarize their current approach to them, and then you'll provide a set of recommendations for how law firms can serve them better. Of course, you don't need to come up with anything new or revolutionary yourself. Just articulate the data you've collected in a logical way and remember to remove anything that personally identifies the respondents. Perhaps you organise things by organisational function so that you put all the HR issues together in one section, the finance issues in another, and so on. Or perhaps the patterns in your data emerge along geographical lines. Use your best judgment and then package the whole lot up in a nicely designed PDF. And now you've got valuable information to offer a potential employer in return for their attention and consideration of you as a candidate for employment or work experience. There's absolutely no guarantee that you'll get what you want, but you've stacked the odds in your favour. And now it's time to make the killer approach. The first thing I want you to remember is that law firms don't hire anybody. Some people who work at law firms hire other people to work with them and their colleagues in law firms. With that in mind, we need to make your killer approach to a person, a specific named individual whose direct contact details you've acquired using your own skills and ingenuity. I want you to make a list of 10 or 20 individual lawyers who specialise in your chosen industry. You can do it by searching on LinkedIn or a normal web search, and I want you to get hold of their email address by looking at each person on their firm's contact directory. Now take each person on your list and write a personal email to the following effect. Dear Jane, I understand you have a practice focused on the insurance industry. I'm a student at Nottingham University and I have recently completed a project looking at the legal needs of business people in the insurance industry. As part of my research, I spoke with senior people at 25 companies, including, and here I'd list the 5 most impressive companies. One of the questions I asked in my research was, how could external law firms better serve your needs? I have compiled all the responses into an anonymised PDF report, and I wonder if you would like to send me a copy. Just reply to this email if you think it might be useful, and I'll send it straight over. Kind regards, and then sign your name. Note that at this stage you don't attach the document right away. Your objective is to establish a dialogue before you share your hard-won information. I think about half of the people you email will reply, and to those you send your report with a note saying, Dear Jane, thank you for your reply and please find a copy of my report attached. I hope you find it useful. I really enjoyed speaking to people in the insurance industry, and having developed an awareness of the commercial issues in this area, I think insurance is an area I'd like to work in the future. I've been publishing a blog about the lessons I've learned through my research, and you can find a link to it here. May I ask if I might be able to do some work experience with you at some point over the next few months? Kind regards, and sign your name. And there you have it. The killer approach. You've opened up a dialogue with someone you know to be relevant. You've provided something of value to the other person, and you've provided evidence that you are a resourceful self-starter who is proactively developing commercial awareness in an area that the person you're approaching is interested in. If you get a positive response, then well done, you've pulled it off. If the answer is no, please do say thank you anyway, and why not ask if it's okay to connect with them on LinkedIn by way of keeping in touch. It's one more person for your professional network, and you have a long career ahead of you. You never know when someone might have a change of circumstances, and remember that smart student who got in touch with them about work experience. Now, this is as good an approach as you can possibly make. It doesn't rely on you having any special advantage or privilege other than a willingness to put in the work, and I want to end by saying this. I can't guarantee that if you follow this strategy, you will definitely be successful. You still need to have the talent to make a go of it. But even in the very worst case scenario, you will have learned to build a network and will have a body of work online that you can point to in an interview when they ask you questions about commercial awareness. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you follow the strategy, please do share your blogs, videos and podcasts with me. And of course, let me hear your success stories. Please hit the like button and share the video with anyone you know who might be interested. Subscribe if you want to see more of the same sort of content. But otherwise, that's all for me from now, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.